Good song that, Genesis and Invisible Touch, 25 to midday on BBC Tees. Now, last week we talked to a very charming young lady called Sissy Papadopoulou, a 25-year-old Greek graduate who's moved to the northeast following the economic collapse of her country. Now, she mentioned on the show with Mike that she finds it hard to get used to the British culture. One part in particular.
Have you tried a Parmo yet?
What?
A Parmo?
What is that?
Chicken breast with cheese on the top.
No, I've never tried
You've
it.
got to try a Parmo.
And then maybe I will change my mind about the food.
We'll sort that out, actually. We'll get that sorted.
Yeah, I will try it.
Now, that's given us an idea, and true to our word, we might have got something on that. Let's go live now into Middlesbrough to Joe Rigatonis restaurant on Linthorpe Road, and here's Amy Lee.
Hello, James. Yeah, we've worked miracles here at BBC Tees. We can make anything happen, really, if we want to. And we couldn't miss out on the opportunity to endorse Cece officially into life in Middlesbrough by taking her out for a Parmo. It's a bit of a Teesside cliche, but for those of us who are not from the area, I'm not originally from Teesside, and I had my first Parmo induction about 5 years ago. It's like an initiation ceremony that everybody's got to go through. And Cece's come all the way over from Greece. She's been studying over here, doing a postgraduate in journalism, and she's working with us at BBC Tees for 3 weeks, and of course we couldn't let her go any further on her time on Teesside without trying the Parmo. So we brought her to Joe Rigatonis on Linthorpe Road, which many of us will know, and I'm joined by Vicky Sale, who works for the marketing team, and you've had phenomenal success with your Parmo, haven't you? How many Parmos have you been selling a week? Because you recently had a very special offer on, which literally had people coming through the door in the thousands.
Absolutely, Amy, absolutely. We usually sell over 600 parmesans a week. It's our best-selling dish by far. Teessiders love it. And recently we ran an offer on Groupon. I'm sure some of your listeners probably kind of are aware of Groupon and take offers up like that. And we sold over 2,000 of those vouchers, which equated to over 4,000 parmesans that we actually sold off that deal. So it just shows that we are truly the home of the Parmo.
It's incredibly popular, and if you do come from far away and you bring your family along, it is something you want to try. Just briefly kind of run us through what a Parmo is for anybody who's passing through the region, doesn't know what it is, and obviously for Cece's benefit, who's sat beside me as well.
Okay, well, the Parmesan, we use a butterfly chicken breast, which we then dip in flour, in an egg wash, and then we put it in, wrap it in breadcrumbs, and then we fry it to perfection. Don't think about the calories. And then we top it with bechamel sauce and a little bit of grated cheddar on the top, and then we grill it to absolute perfection so that it's ultimately tasty. Then we would serve it with our homemade garlic sauce, our homemade chunky chips, and of course, just to kind of whet your appetite a little bit more, a lovely mixed leaf salad.
The salad kind of, it's like if you think of it as a scale with the Parmo on one side and the salad on the other, you're trying to weigh it out a little bit, aren't you? So Paolo, the chef, who's incredibly talented, has brought out one of the best looking Parmos I've ever seen. It's in front of me now. It's warm. It's fresh out of the kitchen here. It's cheese has just stopped bubbling away on the surface. So Cece, now it's time for you to give it a go. What did you think when you first saw it?
I don't know. I think it's very delicious because it looks so nice. But I want to taste it first. I cannot tell. I have to, taste it and then judge.
The proof of the taste is in the pudding. So
it smells so good. You could tell, yeah.
It does smell very nice, even though I've had one before. It's exceptionally tasty. So this is the moment of truth. James, everybody ready? Drum roll. Cece's about to have her first taste of the Parmo. So here she goes, knife and fork in hand. So she's gone for the corner, which has got the chunkiest bit of bechamel sauce and cheese on. Yeah. Oh yeah, dip it in the garlic sauce. Okay. Yeah. And it's going into the mouth now. What's it like?
It's salty, but in a good way. I mean, oh my God, this sauce makes it even better.
Is it better or worse than you imagined?
The cheese melts in your mouth. Oh my God. It's really nice.
She's completely converted. I think she might end up snuffling the whole lot away here.
I think this is a good reason to stay in Middlesbrough, right? Yeah.
There you go, James. Cece, a convert to life on Teesside. It's no feta cheese, it's no kind of olive salad, but hey, you can't compete with the likes of a Parmo, James.
Sounds
for me
like
personally,
an episode
and Cece's
of
converted.
Saturday Kitchen.
Job done.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. We'll have to play a bit of that back. That was something else. Thank you very much, Cici Papadoulou, with Amy Lee sampling a Teesside delicacy, the Parmo. Just enjoyed some of the phrases she came out with there. Helen Note-Young is in the studio with me this morning. Hello, Helen. And we're having a look at some of the most popular news stories online at the moment. What have you been coming? You must have a great job. All you do, you come into work and just trawl the web all morning, or do you do anything else?
I think there's a couple of other things. Make a little bit of tea.
Think so?
That's pretty much it. Answer a phone every now and again. Plymouth Lollipop Man resigns over high five council row. I'm a fan of the high five, James. I think it's fun.
High five council row, okay.
Basically, a lollipop man, he's resigned after being threatened with suspension for high-fiving children who were crossing a road as his hand was out signalling the traffic to stop. So as his hand's out, the kids are going past and giving him a high five. But Bob Slade, 65, and he's helped children to cross the road, leading to Malladon Vale Primary School in Plymouth for 4 years without any incident. And one of the parents have stuck up for him and said that his actions weren't dangerous and it's a ridiculous situation that they're in. He has his hand out anywhere to hold back the traffic, and the children crossed the road, would pat the hand as he was holding it out. But Plymouth County Council have said that on those patrols, they can be friendly, but their full attention must be on the road. So, yeah, that's been the row.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of the high five.
Fan of the high five, indeed. Thank you, Helen. This is also online as well. Most women in Holloway Prison are there because of something the men in their life have done. That's what the recently jailed Vicky Price has told the BBC. Vicky, as you might remember, is the former wife of ex-minister Chris Huhne, who was sentenced to 8 months for perverting the course of justice after taking speeding points for him. And Vicky spoke to Radio 4's Today programme.
Clearly they knew what they were doing, but it didn't mean that they necessarily wanted to do what they did. Vulnerable women who often have lost their self-esteem. More than 50% of women who enter jail have been physically, sexually or emotionally abused, and those are statistics quoted by everybody. Yes, people would have done something quite nasty like being involved in an armed robbery, but that would be because they were forced to drive a car.
Well, Price, who was recently stripped of her Companion of the Order of the Bath, served 2 months in the North London prison earlier this year. Her ex-husband, Huhne, the former Energy Secretary, was also jailed for the same offence.
Okay, we're finishing off on possibly the most inspirational woman I've ever heard of, and this is the nun who's teaching Taekwondo to sick children. Sister Linda Sim gave up Taekwondo when she joined a convent, but years later she's dusted off her black belt as a Singaporean hospice to teach children recovering from cancer. She discovered Taekwondo back in 1971, and it seemed to fill her life because she wanted to help others, and she thought if she had a black belt, she'd be able to be a bodyguard and protect somebody. But now she runs a weekly class for about 20 people, all of whom have brain tumours or childhood leukemia. Most are young children, but some are in their 20s now because they started training with Linda Sim and they didn't want to leave. So Ming Wong, who's the secretary for the General of the Federation, who run this class, say that these children try their best to do whatever they can despite their sickness. And I think because they want to live their life to the fullest and they can enjoy whatever time they have.
What a
Amazing.
nice story.
Yeah, I think it's
absolutely
great.
Heartwarming on a miserable Monday morning.
Exactly.
Thank you. Helen, I know there's been a lot of people commenting as well on our various talking points this morning, so why don't you tell us what they've got to say, particularly on this article from The Economist, which has had a bit of a go at Middlesbrough and Hartlepool.
Yeah, we've had one more text regarding The Economist, and she finds the article absurd. She says, I work for the North East Chamber of Commerce, and we are seeing a range of positive signs, so much that we have a document that we are circulating which lists 50 great reasons to do business in the North East. That's an anonymous text, but thank you for that. Also, we were talking about beggars on the street earlier, James. We've had Fred from Stokesley get in touch regarding to the big issue sellers on Stokesley High Street. He says he and his wife have seen a very posh Mercedes dropping off the people, one of the persons that was selling the big issue, and he often wonders now whether they're genuine, so he doesn't buy any. David and Norton has a different stance, though. He says, how can you decipher a beggar? Some of them could be smartly dressed that have just dropped out of society, so never judge a book by its cover.
Very true.
But finally, on a happy note, we've been talking about the over 50s that are getting more adventurous. Jan in Yarm's been in touch. She's off to Florence on Wednesday to celebrate her 60th birthday.